Hello, my name is Paul Sheriff. Welcome to my course, Minimal Web API Development, where you'll learn the skills you need to become proficient at minimal web API programming with C#. So why should you take my course? I've been a professional developer and top-rated trainer since 1986. I'm going to show you real-world concepts, not just language syntax. I'm going to help you break down those complex subjects into easy-to-understand steps. I'm also going to be giving you sample code, hands-on labs, and links to other technical references and answers to any questions you may have on my course material. So please take some time and subscribe to my channel, Paul D. Sheriff. My name is Paul Sheriff. I have a passion for teaching. I've been training developers for over 35 years through books, video training, articles, blog posts, and I speak at many conferences and user groups all over the world. I've been a mentor for high school and college students for many years. I've been a software consulting business owner for over 30 years. Contact me at psheriff@pdsa.com and check out my website at www.pdsa.com. This course applies to .NET 6, 7, and .NET 8. You either need Visual Studio Code version 1.75 and above, or you'll need Visual Studio 2022 and above. I have many full-length courses on my YouTube channel. C# Fundamentals, Object-Oriented Programming, Minimal Web API Development, Web API Development using MVC, Start and Run a Successful Business, and lots more coming. Please subscribe to my channel, Paul D. Sheriff. So why do you want to learn the Minimal Web API? Well, it's a much simpler model than programming MVC Web API. Just like MVC Web API though, this allows you to make data behind a firewall accessible, and you get to choose what data becomes accessible. Now, it all communicates over the HTTP protocol. It's great for separation of services, and any client can call these APIs. I don't care whether you're calling it from Angular, from React, from JavaScript and jQuery, or maybe some mobile application, they'll all be able to access your minimal web APIs. So who should take this course? Developers who know MVC but want a simpler approach. You need to expose your data from your company, and you want to use Angular, React, or other front ends to get at data. If you're a manager who needs to communicate better with your programming team, this would be a good course for you to take. And any QA person who needs to understand how to call and test web APIs. By the end of this course, you will have understood what is a web API. You'll build a minimal web API project. You're going to use PostMan, Swagger, and JavaScript and jQuery to make and test your web API calls. We're going to create web API routes, add logging and exception handling. We'll create a full set of CRUD APIs, and we'll add cores to allow cross-domain calls. We're also going to learn how to secure your web APIs and make asynchronous calls. To get the most out of this course, you should be a C# developer. You can use Visual Studio or VS Code. You have a basic knowledge of web programming and some entity framework knowledge as well. Let's take an overview of all the various lessons in this course. We start out with Web API Fundamentals, create a Web API project and test using Swagger and Postman. We're going to talk about routes and return types. We're going to talk about using dependency injection, organizing your APIs using router classes. We're going to add logging to web API calls. We're going to add exception handling to web API calls. We're going to modify a router base class to reduce duplicate code. We're going to read configuration settings. We're going to configure and format JSON data. We're going to call minimal web APIs from client side and set up cores. We're going to learn how to organize the program.cs file for maximum readability. We're going to secure your web APIs using JSON web tokens. We're going to get data from a database using the entity framework, learn how to do add, editing, and deleting and validating of your data. We're going to create some searching methods, and finally, we'll take a look at making asynchronous API calls. I highly recommend that you take the time to do the labs. These are step-by-step instructions to solidify your understanding of the topics taught in this course. Labs and sample code are available at pdsa.com/YouTube. And while you're at it, please subscribe to my channel.